Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a reading vlog. You will see another day in the life vlog where I'm wearing like the same stuff, but we're going to be doing a separate reading vlog, kind of going into more detail about all the books I'm going to be reading for this week. And I'm really excited because this will be the second reading vlog that I've done so far for YouTube. All right, I'm just going to put my tripod right here. That's going to be this reading vlog. I'm going to show you really quickly the books that I have in mind. So far, I'm on book 3 of the Ember and the Ashes series by Saba Tahir. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Really good so far. Book 1 was definitely the strongest book in the series. I'm on book 3 and it's so good. It's really, I wouldn't say dark, but there's a lot of action going on and a lot of injustices happening for our two main characters that you're rooting for, but like they just have been getting a lot of bad luck. And we're already on book 3. There's only 4 books and it's like, how much more can go wrong here? When are they gonna catch a break? When are they gonna have a happy ending? So I'm gonna be reading that, and then I also am excited to start Zodiac Academy. It's the 8th book in the series, and it's Sorrow and Starrlight. I'll be reading that on my Kindle. So I'll be reading those 2 books this week. Hopefully I can get another one done, but that is the plan so far. Yeah, I'm excited to be reading these and take you along the journey with. So without further ado, let's get into reading. Okay, so I am about 130 pages in A Reaper at the Gates, and so far it is frustrating. I really love our main character, Leia. She's definitely very resilient. She reminds me a lot of Katniss from The Hunger Games. Her progression of like living in poverty, becoming like a slave, working for the Empire, and then becoming her own person, finding herself, being really strong, not relying on people around her because they end up betraying her. All that stuff goes down in the first book and then continues on in the second and third book. So I don't really know how this book is going to end, like the book series as a whole, because there's 4, but so far I like it. It's definitely a 4-star read for me. Book 1 was 5 stars, and then books 2 and 3 so far have been like a 4-star read. I'm only just in the beginning. We have a lot of progress to make, but so far it's good. It's just frustrating because I want her to be with somebody, and it's like the author purposely wrote this book to make the reader frustrated and like angsty and upset constantly because so many bad things keep happening over and over and over again, and I just want something good to go down. So yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, let's get back to reading. That's kind of the update so far with book 3. Okay, so update on how my reading is going. You saw that I started out reading this one, then I went to the gym and started reading this one, and I got about halfway through A Reaper at the Gates, and to be honest, kind of bored. I feel like this is a filler book. This should have been a trilogy. That's where my head is at right now. Getting a lot of information on stuff in between, like battle scenes and stuff that could be important to the plot, but is it totally necessary? I don't really think so. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna finish it obviously this week. I'm on page 267 and there's like 440 pages of the book, so yeah, that's where we're at with this one. It's good. It's just I don't know, I took this with me to the gym because a Kindle is just way easier on the treadmill because it's hands-free, and this is Zodiac Academy Sorrow and Starrlight, which is book 8. So I've mentioned before that this book series is, I don't want to say it's trash, but like it's like that TV show that you're addicted to that you know is a dumb TV show, but you also can't stop watching it, like watching The Kardashians or The Bachelor. No shade if you like those shows, by the way, but I like shows like that too. But I also can admit that they're not quality TV. This is not quality reading. However, book 7 had me in a chokehold. Like, there are people, the amount of people that died in book 7 that I did not know were going to die just threw me for a loop. And so when I was reading book 8, or when I started book 8, I was like, okay, it wasn't like what it seems, right? Like, they made it as a cliffhanger for book 7, but book 8, people will like just be like injured or whatever. Nope. So I'm at the gym, lump in my throat, trying not to cry. So I got hooked because it's just very dramatic. This is a very dramatic book. I'm on page 159. I'm 12% of the way through, and this is multiple POV. So if you don't like that, I wouldn't recommend this book. Actually, I wouldn't recommend either of these books, but this one in particular, it goes through like 6 or 7 characters. We have a lot of like the main characters, and then like we have the subplot and their character story, their character arcs. So yeah, but I really like this book so far. I just don't know where it's gonna go, and I've heard rumors that there's gonna be a 9th book, which is ridiculous, but yeah, this is a large book. I believe there's like 800 or 900 pages here, so hopefully I can get through it this weekend. I haven't really had any plans today other than to read and just send out a couple more emails. So yeah, I have some water, and I think I'm just gonna hang out right there, and that's where I'm gonna be for this afternoon. Maybe make some more coffee, but that is my plan for Friday. So yeah, let's get back to reading. So quick little update, it is Saturday morning. I'm about halfway through both books right now, but we are going to hopefully finish it today, one of the books. But before we do that, I have a birthday party I have to go to for my little cousin, for my cousin's son's birthday party. I don't know if that makes him like my nephew, my second cousin, I don't know. But we have some presents to wrap. So I just got some gift bags, and we're gonna wrap them really fast, and then we'll get to reading. You guys, we need to talk about this book. So I just read a clip of how far I got, about 52% of the way in, and I just decided we are not going to finish this book. I know, I'm already halfway there. Shouldn't I just finish it? Shouldn't I just push through what's going on in this book? And the answer is no. We are not doing that in 2023. We are going to be stopping books if it's giving us weird feelings, if it's boring us, if we're just not liking it, we can stop. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of the overall synopsis of this series. We have 2 twin girls born in the mortal realm who are living in the mortal realm, and they get basically affronted by this man who is from this Fae world kingdom of Solaria, and is like, hey, you guys are actually the true heirs to the throne. Your parents were the king and queen of this land, and they basically had you in hiding all these years. So you're not actually mortal, you are Fae princesses, and you need to go to the school to claim your inheritance, blah, blah, blah. So the entire series is these 2 girls, Darcy and Tori, they're twin sisters, trying to learn about who they are, their powers, and become powerful enough to take over their parents' throne, while there's also trying to navigate people, bullies who are trying to stop them because they have their own claim to the throne. These are like 4 celestial heirs. They're very powerful, and they're like, no, this is our throne, you're not taking it away from us. And yeah, so it's a bully romance. We go back and forth with these characters for 7 books. And then there's like a war that goes on, and we have villains. We obviously have many antagonists throughout this series. I had a lot of high hopes because I was hoping this was going to be the end of the series. It is actually not going to be the end of the series. Another one has been confirmed that will be released. This series should have ended at like book 5. They should have wrapped it up. They could have wrapped it up. Each book has just gotten progressively longer. And normally I don't mind with fantasy books. It doesn't have to be super short. It can be long-winded because of the world building, because of like the battle scenes, the politics that go into it. There's a lot that go into fantasy books that, you know, I don't mind them being longer. But we got like 600 pages in and we're only halfway through, and I just couldn't do it anymore. That's one of the reasons though that I decided not to. One of the other reasons is this series had so many different POVs. Like, we had probably 7, 8, 9 different points of views from different side characters, subplots being created for no apparent reason than to add filler text to the general like plot line that don't really do anything else for what's going on in the story, in my opinion, and they don't enhance anything for the reader. They are just side characters that were put there to add maybe some laughs because of the dialogue, some spice because there are so many scenes in this that just were so cringeworthy. I wasn't expecting this book to be so like spicy. It kind of got really cringy for me in like the last few books, but I kind of just pushed through it, flipping through the pages. I don't really like spicy scenes like that. I try to just skip through them. I don't like reading about it. And when I got to this book and I realized like every other chapter or every few pages was going to be a scene like that, it just really, really irked me. It wasn't something that I knew I'd be getting going into this series. If I knew that, I probably would not have read this series. And again, we're just not getting anywhere with the storyline. We have these 2 main characters that just are stuck in this really, really big pickle, and they're not really learning a lot from their mistakes. It took a turn into just a genre that I wasn't really happy with or like in general. A lot of people like this book 8 specifically. It just wasn't for me, and it's really, really sad because I went through 7.5 books in this series, and I was enjoying it so far for the most part, 4 stars, 3 stars, depending on the book. And this was like 1 star. And I'm gonna be generous with that because it really, really bugged me how much spice was in there, how much random dialogue was in here, how much pop culture references were just being thrown in this book. Again, I don't think it adds anything to the plot. I think they could have just skipped right to, these battle scenes, tying up loose ends, get to the the climactic part of this series, and let's start tying up these loose ends to end the series finally, because it is just too drawn out, and I find that this was a cash grab. So yeah, didn't like it. I'm really upset that it ended this way. If you finish the series and you like it, that's great. Love that for you. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. I am starting to really, really hone down on my type of content, what I'm allowing myself to read personally, and Zodiac Academy is just not going to cut it for me anymore. So that's that. But moving right along, because we still have a Reaper at the gates, so I'm going to be finishing that tonight, and we will do a recap on that series. There is 1 more book, so I will read book 3 today and possibly start book 4 tomorrow, but we'll see how I feel. So yeah, that's kind of the update that we're at so far. Hey guys, let's chat. So I finally finished Reaper at the Gates. This is book 3 of the Ember and the Ashes series. It took me quite a while to finish this book actually. I actually stopped reading this to read Zodiac Academy, Starro and Starlight. Didn't finish that, went back to this, finished it, and here are my thoughts. Obviously I can't get into spoilers because this is book 3, so I can't really talk about the plot in this because it would give away stuff from books 2 and 1, but there was a lot of politics in this book, a lot of I would say this is like the rising action in the storyline of this series. So book 3 was a little more boring for me because there's a lot of subplots happening and we have multiple POVs with people that are not our 2 main characters that kind of not necessarily bothered me, but I didn't necessarily care about their storyline too much. So there's that. The other thing is politics. It can get a little boring because I have to understand these other like kingdoms or people who are at war with these people and why, and people backstabbing other people, and there's a lot going on in that side of things with the Empire. And so yeah, that was probably the reason why it took me so long to finish this book. But I will say the last few chapters, probably the last 150 pages, was really intense and was very fun to read. It was kind of upsetting that we're in book 3 and no one's at a happy ending anywhere near. You don't see like how it's going to end happily for these people. But I have hopes that book 4 will, you know, change all of that and will make me believe again that there's hope for these characters, because I do love our main character, Leia, or Leia, how you pronounce it. She is a cool character who starts out basically in the slums with nothing, and we're seeing her character development through this series and her learning to just stop being so scared and come into her skin a little more and be more comfortable with who she is, and her just kind of find strength within herself, regardless of who her family is and where she was born and what she was born into, things like that. So I love her. I love Elias. His character is really cool, and you do see him in this book, but not too much. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where book 4 takes us. But that is pretty much this reading vlog. We read about 1.5 books, so not too much in with that, but I am happy that I got this book done. I'm gonna go ahead and start book 4 this week, and yeah, hopefully I can find something else good to read. I may go book shopping today, we'll see. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have read this book series and if you liked it. If you want to get into some more spoilery stuff, let me know down in the comments below. But that's gonna be it for this reading vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave more book recommendations in the comments, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel if you like bookish content. And until next time, I will see you in my next video. Bye!